We have Raz Simone with us. So
I got the crown now. All these bitches, they be down now. I walk about my chariot and they bow down. But truthfully, who gives a fuck about the town now? More Amazon workers live here than people that are brown now. My neighbor, that's more.
who is Raz Simone?
Raz is me, I guess, a person, an artist, a dad, a businessman, etc.
Biggest setback achievement?
Biggest setback or biggest achievement?
Both.
Biggest setback. I mean, I guess it's all relative. You know, I never take any kind of setbacks too heavy because I was looking at this as positive because it helps craft me as a person. You know, anytime that you get hit on the head, then you learn and you get better. So I never look at it as anything crazy. I remember there was a time where it was one of the darker times where I was being followed by the feds, the FBI, and they kept on there knocking on different people's doors, and at the same time, the police were trying to slander my name and some different things like that. And I mean, that was one of those times where I felt like I was in a dark place, and that was a major setback at that point. But even that, you know, crafted the human, the person that I am. You know, it makes me who I am. So I still appreciate it. And biggest achievement. I haven't touched it. I feel like it's one of those things where I'm always happy and content with what I have, but I'm also always hungry for more, you know, in a positive way, because I'm hungry to feed myself and to feed the others around me and people that I haven't even met yet, you know, so there's no plateau. It's not like I made it here and that was my biggest achievement. Now I'm here and, you know, now I'm going down. You know, there's no going down, there's always forward. I'm sure that my biggest achievement will be tomorrow and the next one will be the next day. And it'll just keep on going like that.
What do you want to bring to the current state of hip hop?
I always want to just keep it real. I want everyone to keep it real. Appreciate that. I like it when I hear an artist and I know that that's their story. They're not telling some fabricated story or anything like that. It's the first thing. And then I like the difference. I hate it when I just hear the same stuff over and over. You know, these people regurgitate the same styles, all that stuff. It's cool that you just memorized that. You just copied that. You just did karaoke. But like, how cool is that? It's definitely more refreshing and more interesting when you find someone new that's doing something that you haven't heard before in a way that you haven't seen it before. And that's what I strive to give all the time. With different projects, different fields, you know, different sides of my life, different vantage points that I'm seeing at different points. You know, traveling the world, getting myself versed with that, bringing my life experiences to the scene. You know, so yeah.
What do you stand for?
I found that every day that changes. And not necessarily, not like blowing in the wind, but like every day I stand for more. The more that I hear, the more that I feel inclined to do something about certain things. You know, we're in a huge world, and most of us have not touched a fraction of that. All of us haven't touched a fraction of that. You have enough days in your life or vehicles to get you to all the different places in the world to experience it all. And then, even if you do, you still haven't experienced it in the way that the person sitting right next to you has, or the person on the whole other side of the world has. You know, so I definitely stand for, to put it in an easier way, shorter way, I stand for oppressed people. You know, the least of these people that are in the worst situations. And every day I'm learning more and more who those people are, and I get more pointed with my direction. You know, at the same time, I'm keeping it real and letting you know that sometimes I'm in the same similar position. So by no means am I, you know, a pastor or a I'm not trying to preach at you and tell you that what you're doing is wrong and that what I'm doing is right. Like most of the time, the reason why I'm speaking on the situation is because I'm there, you know, and I'm not doing right at the same time. But at least I have been gifted to know what is light and what is dark, you know, and kind of being able to decipher from the good and, you know, and the bad and all that. So yeah, impress people.
What kind of audience do you hope to reach with your music?
Sometimes different projects, different people. So when I really started out going in, it was, this is me and this is the shit that we go through, and I want you to understand it. Everyone that hasn't been through that, everyone that hasn't lived in that life, a life is similar to my own. I want you to understand it, and I want you to be able to empathize with not only myself, but people that are around you that may have lived a similar life than I did. So I'm gonna take all this, the way that we talk, the way that we get down, all the shit that we're offering. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna translate that and make it so it's something that you can understand, that the rest of the world can get, and so people that may be in a position to be able to help, you know, have that type of understanding for the people that are around them, for the people that are being oppressed, they have that understanding. And then now, so I've gone around in different places like that, and then now it's really more focused on the people that are oppressed, you know, the people that aren't gonna have the money to buy my music, people that aren't gonna have the money to go out to the shows. Like I'm focusing to those because there's not a lot of people that are focusing on those, you know. And yeah, and that's where my heart is at, you know. So that's where it's always been at. It's just different times I have to talk to different people to get the objective.
Oh Lord, please watch my steps, cause I don't know how many more I got left. So I'm praying, oh Lord, the fake have been prospering, to the real keep it mobbing, man. I'm praying, oh Lord.
Are there any current artists out right now that you look up to or respect or idolize?
I idolize. I kind of cut myself off from the world as far as the music world because I don't want to. I know that us as humans are people are very easily, what's it called, easily influenced, and so I always want to make sure like me being me, you know. That's how I started. But one artist that I do really appreciate her stuff is Laura Mvula. She's dope. Go check her out. She got some dope production. She had like the whole London Symphony doing one of her last albums, and she was like, she goes in. But yeah, I'm not out there putting my feelers out there that much. But I would say my team, Black Umbrella, there's a reason why they're on the team. There's a reason why they're part of the family. They're very talented. You know, you got my guy Fred Luciano, King Lee's, Magic, Samuel Child. list goes on. They all have their own little feels, so I would say the team, family, look up to them.
Tell people about the village.
The village. So the village is something that we created that it's put there to join like-minded people together, people that were probably came together because of music and because of my music specifically. But then as we grow, they'll be coming from all different places. But it's people that are like-minded that coming together as family for to accomplish similar goals and objectives. The way that I look at it is, I have all these listeners, these fans, these supporters, and every time I rock a show, I only have a certain amount of time to be able to talk to these people. I can either talk to everyone for 2 seconds or talk to one person for 2 hours, and then I'll talk to everyone else. If I talk to everyone for 2 seconds, then it's very shallow. Hey, great to meet you. Hey, take a picture. Oh, man, bye. If I talk to one person for 2 hours, I can go and have a deep conversation, but then I'm missing out on everyone else that's in the building. That's why this is what I do this for. I feel like I'm cheating myself by only utilizing my fans for a couple things. Only utilizing them for money, and specifically money for shows and money for music and money for merch. I may have fans who are rocket scientists, and I have plans of going to Mars. I may have fans that that have hundreds of acres of land that they are ready to turn into farming, and that's something that I want to do. So many different things that if I connect the dots with other people that are trying to get those things together, or myself, we've got a whole infrastructure of people that can help each other, and it'd be ridiculous to not capitalize on that. It'd be ridiculous to just if you've got a pilot, and instead of him being a pilot, you're using him to fucking ride you around on a golf cart, right? And using his time and your time in that way, that makes no sense. He's overeducated. He can do so much more than just drive you around in a golf cart, and you don't even know that because you didn't even take the time to ask him what he did, and you didn't take the time to have a long conversation than just that 2-second conversation that you had right there at the merch table. So that's the village in a nutshell, and luckily we all have a heart for people and a heart for giving back and stuff. So it comes down to that too. It's different business matters, different philanthropic endeavors, and all that. That's what the village is.
So is there a release date for your new project, Trap Spirituals?
No release date, but it will be coming soon. I'll let you know that.
Could you tell us a little bit about this project?
Trap Spirituals. It's the music for the people. I remember when I was younger, someone was telling me that reggae is the heartbeat of the people, and I always that resonated in my head and my heart. I always thought about that. And then I started looking at the slave spirituals. So they call it slave spirituals, and that was the heartbeat of the people. People, man, anybody in the law, they sing those songs and had so much soul in it and so much passion, because that's what they were going through. They were singing all those like Moses, the free all the whatever, and singing all those different things, and that was like all they had at some points, and it was heavy. And so now when I'm fast forwarding past reggae, past that, you look at hip hop, in the 80s or whatever, hip hop was the heartbeat of people, and that was how people spoke and voiced their opinions and all that stuff, and let their passions out. And nowadays, look at it, what's the heartbeat of a majority of oppressed people? Trap music, a lot of trap and other variations and things like that. And so that's why when I called it Trap Spirituals, I felt like it was very fitting, because it's still in that slavery, we're still in that state, playing off of the slave spirituals, and that being the heartbeat of people, and now this being the heartbeat of people. I felt like that was very fitting, you know. Um, but yeah, but at the same time, I feel like that's most things that people, that word trap, people use it so loosely nowadays. It's just like when you say I love you, like people use that so loosely nowadays, and I don't feel like it should be used like that, you know. Like, I mean, trap is the drug spot. Trapping is, you know, is selling and getting it in. And there's so many people that aren't doing that, but they're trying to put on that facade and act like they are, and they're trying to teach people how to do it. And so they're putting out this music and they're telling you to use drugs while you're selling drugs, and to do this and to do that, and to do all these different things that are extra hot that aren't good for you, that would not be advantageous to your whole setup. And so for me, I'm like, all right, well, if you're gonna talk about it, at least do it in the right way, you know, at least be like actually with the shit, you know, because the type of person I am is I do want positivity in this world, you know, I want to spread good energy, but I'm also not one of those, I'm not one of those parents or those teachers that'll be like, when you come in and you're like, let's say you get caught for having sex or something like that, or you want to have sex or whatever, you're a kid, whatever. I'm not gonna be like, look, you just don't do it. Practice abstinence. You just don't ever fucking have sex. Don't get your little dick wet. I'm not gonna say that, because what is that gonna teach you? You know, you're in the wrong with that, and you're like, well, damn, okay, well, I can't talk to them ever, and now I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just about to go keep on having sex however the fuck I was. So now you're getting diseases, and you're getting babies, and other problems, or whatever the fuck. You know, I'm gonna be the teacher or the parent that's gonna be like, well, look at, this is a condom. You know, this is how you use it. These are different birth control methods that you can use or that your partner can use, you know. And on top of that, it might be best for you to wait and do it with someone that you know, you know, that you have some type of care or love for. But if not, here are these tools, and this is how you utilize them. Instead of just telling you not to do it, because, you know, then you're just gonna do it in the wrong way. So that's how I look at life, and how I look at teaching, and how I look at music, you know, and how I look at trap and all that stuff.
That's it for our interview. I'd like to thank you for your time. This has been a Basement Made exclusive.
It's definitely love y'all.